4 stories this week, and every one of them lands on the same question. Can you actually see inside the AI you just switched on? Let me walk you through the whole issue. First, what we have been doing. In our AI Smart Lab session last week, we cleaned up our own ClickUp agents. We had a pile of separate helpers pulling action items out of client emails and meetings, each one running in its own lane. We merged them into one agent. It reads the work, sorts it, and sets each task with an owner, a due date, and a priority. It runs the triage we used to do by hand. If you want to see our agent org chart inside ClickUp, email us and we will get you on the Zoom for the next lab or send you the recording. I will put the address in the description. One of those agents was proofreading legal style copy, and we set a hard rule on it. A person checks it before it goes anywhere. AI still invents things that read as true, and legal wording is the last place you want a confident guess. Fast is good. A human on the final read is what keeps fast from turning into an expensive mistake. That leads straight into something we published this week. If you have tried AI and watched it fizzle, the setup was probably the problem, not the tool. Our new guide walks you through running a first AI pilot the way we do it with clients. You pick one workflow that already hurts. You set your data rules before anyone starts. You keep human review steps in place, and you measure the result before you scale it. That is the difference between a test you can learn from and 6 months of scattered experiments. The link is in the description. On the service side, the thing clients keep asking us for right now is AI strategy and consulting, and they all arrive in the same spot. They know AI can help. They are staring at a pile of tools, and they do not know which ones to trust, how to protect their data, or how to get their team to actually use any of it. Here's how we work. We start with your goals, not a tool list. We map the workflows eating your time. Pick one to prove out first, set the data guardrails, and put a human review step on anything that leaves the building. Then we build a simple phased roadmap your team can actually follow. No 40 tool stack, no science projects, just the next right step and the one after that. If you want to see the exact framework we start with, book a meeting with me. Now the news. And the first one is the one that got me. AI is now deciding who gets Medicare care in 6 states. There is a Medicare pilot called Weiser. In 6 states, it lets AI from private tech firms approve or deny certain treatments before a doctor can go ahead. Patients report waits of 2 to 4 weeks and repeat denials on care that used to take a day. Here is the part that matters. The firms are paid partly based on the savings they generate from denials, which quietly builds in a reason to say no. A private company's software can now sit between you and a treatment your own doctor already approved, and the people affected cannot see how the decision was made. My take. The problem here is not that AI is in healthcare. It is that a black box with a money motive to deny is making the call, and when a patient asks why, nobody can answer. The doctors literally call it a black box. And that word should worry any business, not just hospitals. When we build an AI decision step for a client, we require 2 things: a human review on the output and a system that can show the reason for its answer. An automated no you cannot explain is worse than a slow yes. I would not deploy an AI decision you cannot audit and reverse, especially anywhere a wrong answer lands on a real person. Next up, Meta put an AI assistant on your Mac and it reads your ads and your inbox. Meta launched a Mac app that connects to your Facebook and Instagram business accounts, your ad campaigns, and Google Workspace tools like Gmail, Docs, and Sheets. You can share a window on your screen and ask what is working, and it will draft posts, decks, and spreadsheets for you. It is free to start, with paid tiers for heavier use. The catch sits in the default setting. The business data you share can be used to train Meta's models and target ads unless you switch on incognito. My take. This is convenient. And that is exactly the trap. The pitch is one assistant that sees your ads, your inbox, and your calendar in one place. The price is Meta seeing all of it too by default to train on and to sell against. Convenience and data exposure are the same feature here, not a trade you get to skip. When we set up an AI tool for a client, we read the data terms first and decide what the tool is allowed to touch. Because free almost always means you are paying with your data. I would never recommend a client keep anything private, financial, or client owned in there until those terms earn my trust. I do not see that happening anytime soon, especially when Google and Microsoft are already there for the majority of companies. Here is one that almost slipped by. Cancer Research UK is handing 20 years of data to an AI cancer model. Bioptimus, a Paris AI company, partnered with Cancer Research Horizons, the commercial arm of Cancer Research UK, to train its Cancer Foundation model on a dataset of more than 1,750 colorectal cancer patients. That data took 2 decades to collect. It includes tissue images, genetics, and real treatment outcomes. The goal is a model that can predict which patients a given treatment will actually help, not just who tends to do badly. My take. The real story is the data. Bioptimus did not pull ahead because it has a cleverer model than everyone else. It pulled ahead because it got access to 20 years of outcome-linked data almost nobody else has. In AI right now, the model is becoming the commodity and the proprietary data is the moat. We tell clients the same thing when they panic about choosing the perfect tool. Your edge is not the model everyone can rent. It is the data and the workflows only you have. The other big one this week, the FDA is figuring out how to regulate AI that changes its own answers. The FDA put out a discussion paper asking how it should evaluate generative AI medical devices because its usual software rules do not fit tools that give different answers to similar questions and keep changing after launch. The paper flags 3 risks by name. First, hallucinations that look credible. Second, performance that drifts after deployment. And third, the problem of building on a third-party model you cannot see inside. Public comments are open until October 19th. In plain terms, the FDA is admitting that the way it checks normal software does not work on AI that keeps rewriting itself. So it is asking the public how to do it before writing the rules. My take. Read this even if you never touch a medical device. The FDA just wrote down in plain regulatory language the 3 risks most businesses ignore when they ship AI. It makes things up convincingly. It can get worse after launch, and you often cannot see inside the model you built on. Those are not device problems. They become your problems the day you put AI in front of a customer. We consistently retest client AI after go live, not only at launch, because a model that passed in the spring can quietly drift by the fall. Build scheduled maintenance into anything you deploy, the way the FDA is proposing to. Because it worked the day we launched it is not an excuse for something not working. In tech, maintenance is not a new concept. Anybody who has built an app knows that with every OS update, you have to update your app too. AI is no different. Your instructions need to be updated on occasion. There are ways to get greater stability as well. You can self-host static models. If you want to learn more about that, email us and I will put the address in the description. The FDA should be doing this and we will let them know. 3 tool picks this week. First, our workflow and SOP creator. It maps your business operations and turns them into clear SOPs and RACI charts with automation built in. It fits a week where every story came back to the same lesson. Document the process and keep a human in it before you hand it to a machine. Second, Snitcher. It identifies the companies visiting your website and turns that traffic into leads and outreach. We run it on our own site and get real value out of data you already have. And third, Fixer. It organizes your inbox, drafts your replies, and writes your meeting notes. A simple, practical assistant for the busy work. If there is one line to keep from this issue, it is this. Any AI decision you cannot explain, audit, or reverse is a liability you already own, whether that is a Medicare denial or a draft leaving your building. Got a burning question, a fresh take, or an AI win you want to share? Email us or book a call with me and we will map your next step. Everything I mentioned is in this week's newsletter and the link is in the description. Have a great day.